the beginning of the birth of all the Shvatim. That's the Shvatim, the 12 Shvatim begins. It begins in Parshas Vayietzie. Lavan who asa a trick. Oh, I'm supposed to be speaking in English. What am I speaking in? Which language? I was speaking in English?
You can. Yeah.
Okay, I forgot. Lavan did the trick. He switched Leah and Rachel. He said, no, it's not a problem. They ended up getting married. He ended up marrying both of them. The truth is, we know that Leah was a Ner Rakot. She had soft eyes. Why was her eyes soft? Because she was crying all the time. Because everybody was saying the oldest son for the oldest daughter, and the youngest son for the youngest daughter. She was for sure she was going to have to marry Esau because he was the firstborn. So she was crying all the time. But in the end, so they both married Yaakov. What's the problem? Well, the problem is that because of this, Yosef was born last. He was the youngest of the sons, except for Benjamin, of course, who was born, the only one who was born in Eretz Yisrael. Since he was the youngest, it's the hardest thing in the world to listen to somebody who's younger than you. I remember when I was in grammar school and high school. So if somebody was a year older than you, it's already he's like somebody's a year younger than you, could never listen to him. He's just a kid, Okay, maybe after you get to be 60 and 70, a few years difference not so big, but the biggest Rabbi Nachman of Breslev. He was 20 years old, and he had one of his closest Hasidim became the Maggid of Chovitz. The Maggid of Chovitz was 70 years old when he came to the Rebbe, and he was already a Rebbe himself with many Hasidim. And when he came to the Rebbe, he said, "That's it." He said, "From now on, if you want to come with me to Rabbi Nachman, you can come. I'm not the Rebbe anymore. I'm just a Talmid. How could it be?" 70 years old with many Talmidim, and he's coming to the Rebbe. But it's very, very unusual. So Yosef, since he was born last, so the brothers couldn't see that he was the tzaddik. So, and all the rest of them, they were, and this began the whole problem. But in the end, it's all for the good, because maybe if he would have been born first, so then they would have said, okay, anyway, what can we do? He's the firstborn. They wouldn't have still seen really who he was. It had to come out in such a way that they would have to do tshuva completely. And how it comes out that we know that Yosef is the only one in the Torah is called tzaddik, Yosef a tzaddik. He said, Yosef is Svira b'Yisod shetikun habrit v'zeh tzaddik. Rabbi Nachman says in the Likutei Moharan that however much a person has tikun habrit, that's how much he is a tzaddik. The fixing of the covenant. So there's a person you can't mishaker, you can't lie over it. Like a person could maybe there's Rabbi Nachman speaks about Mefursam Shel Sheker. He's a Mefursam. He's famous, but it's really not real. So a person could maybe do all kinds of things to fool the people, to fool the world that he's a tzaddik. But if the real test is if he really has tikkun habrit, then that's how much he's a tzaddik. Zeh Yosef a tzaddik. He was completely pure, completely nikri, completely. So now the whole birur, the whole clarification of this whole inyan, of the whole thing of Yosef and his brothers always comes out during Chanukah. There's a famous joke that they tell about some lady who was in the Ezras Nashim, and it was in the parsha of when Yosef comes to Dotan. I was once in a shiur in the Nachal Charedi. Nachal Charedi, it's the, what do you call it, the religious unit of the army. So it's the place is somewhere near Dotan, Mavo Dotan. It's near Jenin in the Shalom. So I was riding with this Ben Chaim or Bar Chaim. He was then the Rav of the Nachal Charedi, and we were riding in the car on the way to this place where the base, the army base was. He said, "You see over there, there's a pit there. People say that that's where they threw Yosef into the pit. Whether it is or not, I don't know, but it's in that area." So. So it was coming up to the portion, and Yosef comes to see his brothers, and they take him, they throw him to the pit, and this lady's up there in the Ezras Nashim, and she's screaming. She says, "Magia lecha, magia lecha." It's due to you, you know. So they said, people understand. He said, why is she screaming this? She said, because last year we also read the same portion. And he should have known better. He should have known this year not to go there. You know? Anyway, why do we go over the same portions all the time? What is this inyan here? What is going on here? So every year it comes out in Hanukkah, the whole story of Yosef and his brothers. It always says that Yosef really. It's brought in the Megalei Amukos, and it's also brought in the Kutei Halachot, and it's also brought in the Yalkut Ruveni. All the same thing. It says that the Givia, the Givia is the Becher, the Kos, the goblet of Benjamin, the goblet of Yosef. So it's a Givia is Gematria. It comes out Yud Gimel. Givia is Yud Gimel Pamim Ayin Bet. Yud Gimel is 13 times 72. It comes out to be Gematria Shalom. It's actually 936. So 936 is not Gematria Shalom. So why do they say it in all these books? They say the same thing. So because we're talking about the Shalom with the Mem Sofit. A Mem Sofit, the last Mem, is Mansapak. There are 5 letters that all have an ending, a special ending, and each one of these gematrias is a different gematria entirely than the regular. Mem is 40, but the Mem Sofi comes out to be 600, because Taf is the last letter, and that's 400, and Kaf Sofit is the first of the Mansapak, of the last letters, that's 500, and Mem is the second one, it's 600. So 600 and Shalom says is Shin is 300. That's 900, and Lamed Vav is 36. So Yud Gimel Pamim, the Givia comes out to the Givia. This goblet of Yosef is really bringing Shalom. What do you mean it's bringing Shalom? It's bringing the opposite. It's bringing all the machlokes. All the brothers are coming down. What did he puts the goblet in Benjamin's sack, and now the brothers want to come down, and they want to. They're going to now. Yaakov is going to. He's in great tsar and in great trouble, and then it's bringing all the problems upon him. So they're going to come down. They're going to kill all of Egypt. The brothers. They were very, very strong, and they could have, but the only thing they saw that Ephraim and Manasseh are just as strong as them, even more strong. And they don't know what's going on here. How could it be? They must be from our family. We never saw anybody so strong in the world. So it's bringing about the World War I, the original World War I. It's going to be happening now, with between Egypt and the brothers of Yosef. Where is the Shalom here? It says because it ultimately brought about that the brothers did tshuva. And this is Shalom Emiti, because until they did tshuva, they were still felt that maybe they were right. They thought that Yosef was pasul. They thought that Yosef was, how do you say pasul? That he was, like there was Avram and there was Abraham had two sons. One was Ishmael and one was Yitzhak. So Yitzhak was the one who was to mamshich, to continue the way, and Ishmael was not the one. Even though there's about a few billion people today that think that it's the opposite, but the Torah doesn't say so. And then Yitzhak had two sons. One was Esav and one was Yaakov. And Yaakov is the real mamshich. Even though Esav was crying out, "What, you have only one blessing?" He said to Yitzhak, "You have one only blessing. Atzalta bracha." The lashon atzalta is lashon atzilut. So we understand that what was Esav really asking for? He was asking that I also want a bracha from olam atzilut. What is olam atzilut? A world that's completely kadosh. I want a blessing also from this holy place. But what is this? Esav? It doesn't matter. You can also get a bracha from olam atzilut and from the highest place, and still continue with your ways of killing and pagam abrit and all that. It doesn't matter. Olam atzilut, that's one thing, and what I'm doing is another thing. It's all right, That's Esav. This was the whole. How do you say, the philosophy of the Greeks. It all goes like this. They were the most mushchatim anishim ba'olam. How do you say mushchatim? The most perverted people in the world, and they were known as great chachamim. This is what was happening in Chanukah. This is the whole story of Chanukah, and it always comes out in Chanukah. This whole story again. Why? And so now, when it comes out to the brothers, now there's all the 12 tribes. So the other brothers thought that Yosef was the one that was not on the right way. It was exactly the opposite, because the tzaddik is very, very hidden. The real tzaddik is always very hidden. The biggest machlokes was always on the big tzaddik. The biggest machlokes was on Moshe was chashud eshet ish. They say, and Chazal say, they thought he was committing adultery. Moshe Rabbeinu, and we say about Rabbi Nachman. The biggest machlokes was on Rabbi Nachman. The biggest machlokes was even bigger than on him was on Rav Nosson, his Talmud. And it's going on in each generation. It's going on like this. So the fixing is on Chanukah when he brings the Geviah. The Geviah is the secret of the secret of Shalom, to bring the brothers to do tshuva. But Yosef, in order to bring the brothers to do tshuva, he had to do incredible things. He had to bring about all kinds of strange things that were happening, and until the brothers would come to do tshuva. So Chazal say, the rabbis say that the truth is that we have not done tshuva shlema ad hayom hazeh. We haven't done complete tshuva until this day. It still hasn't happened yet. And then when it will be, there will be the geula shlema. It says here in the sefer that it's speaking about soda hiyuli. Maze hiyuli. Hiyuli is actually a Greek word. The soda of hiyuli, it's brought in the Sefer Ramban, Perush al Torah, that the Ramban says that the tohu is hiyuli. What is hiyuli? Hiyuli is the highest emanation of Hashem. That's exactly it's the completely closest to there's a creator and a created. Okay, so the hiyuli is ben the creator and the created. It's like the first creation. It's even the highest of all. So the sort of hiyuli. This is the secret of Chanukah. There's a whole Torah, and maybe Be'ez Hashem. In another time we'll go over this. It's in Sichat Haran, in Siman Mem. that it goes into this whole secret of the dreidel of Hanukkah. The dreidel of Hanukkah is not really, the sod is not really Nes Gadol Haya Po or Haya Sham, it's another inyan entirely. And the Rebbe brings it in Sichot Haran. But anyway, the inyan of Soda Hiyuli, what is the secret? This is the Bechina of the Tzaddik. The Tzaddik is the closest. The Tzaddik is which is now becoming revealed in the whole story of Hanukkah. That is always the parsha of Yosef being revealed as a Tzaddik. In the time of Hanukkah, it's Matesyahu. Matesyahu Kohen Gadol was the Tzaddik Ador. He was a Tzaddik of his generation, and he was giant. He was so giant that he was able to stand up against the whole Greek nation, which was like an impossible situation. It was like 1,000,000 against 1. There's no chance. Forget it. How can you do such a thing? But he knew the secret of the strength of Am Yisrael. The strength of Am Yisrael that are connected to the Torah. If Am Yisrael are connected to the Torah, nothing can stand against them. Nothing in the world. Because it's the Soda Nisi, the Leshem Shovach Lama, the Rav Eliyah, the grandfather of Rav Eliyah, the Posek of the Posek Ador of this last generation. So he speaks a lot about this. The Soda Nisi, the Soda, that really, Nes is the natural order of things. Miracles is the natural order. The world thinks that the nature is the natural order, and that's the whole concept of the Greeks. Everything is nature. But amongst Am Yisrael, the natural order of things is miracles. It's normal. That's the real normal. It's also the Maral brings it in a few places. זה מה שהוא כותב כאן, שהעניין של יוסף. כי the secret of Chanukah is the secret of Mesiras Nefesh. And that's what it says here. V'hu sod Yosef ben Yaakov, she'itaber benishmat Akiva ben Yosef. That Yosef ben Yaakov is the secret of Rabbi Akiva. The Rabbi Akiva, shehu keneged hakamutz mikol. V'zeh ki se besod nishmat Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva, it says here that it's brought in a few different places in Kitvei Arizal, in Shar Psukim, and other places, that V'hine Yosef nikra Na'ar Ivri. Yosef is called Na'ar Ivri. It's a how do you call it? A Hebrew child. Okay? Ivri. Ivri is Ayin Beit Resh Yud. It's Rosh Tevos Rabbi Akiva ben Yosef. It's the Ivri is Rosh Tevos Rabbi Akiva ben Yosef. Because Rabbi in Torah Pei and Kutim Haran, the Rabbi speaks there about that Yosef is the Indian of Mesiras Nefesh, and this was the Mesiras Nefesh of the time of the Chashmonaim. They were, how many were the Matesyahu and five sons, and they had a few friends that believed in them, and they stood up against the whole nation of millions. It was absolutely the most impossible thing that could be. They were ready to give everything for the sake of saving Am Yisrael, the kedusha of Am Yisrael. זה הסוד של קומץ. מה זה קומץ? קומץ זה הנקודה העליונה. There's all the nekudot stand for different sfirot. It says here in I have a book here. There's a seder of all the way all the nekudot go. So the komatz is keneged keter. The patach is keneged chokhmah. Seri keneged bina b'chulei. הכל זה מצויר כאן. שם הוויה בכל הנקודות. אבל נקודת הכתר, the keter is komatz. That's the highest of all of the nekudot. So maze komatz. Komatz ze shugeneged komatz akamutz miko. Inyan ze sheRebbi Akiva yasod kamutz muvua b'divrei in Likutei Halachot. Ki Rebbe Akiva haya doresh kitrei otiyot. We know that he was doresh. He was explaining all the keterim of all the letters. In kitrei otiyot, there's tagim. They're called the tagim on their letters are called the keterim. So he was doresh all the tagim. Shehem bechinas ma'amar satum bechinas sitrei Torah. Really, what it really means is that Rebbe Akiva was explaining all the secrets of the Torah. And how was he able to explain all the secrets of the Torah? Because the neshama of Rebbe Akiva was the highest of the high. Because I learned in the Gemara in Dorim recently that in Daf Nun it speaks about the emergence of Rebbe Akiva. That Rebbe Akiva, he was had very good midot, but he hadn't learned Torah yet. And when his wife saw him, when his future wife Rachel saw, this is Daf Nun Amud Beit in Masechet Nedarim. When his wife saw his qualities, she saw that he was able to. He would, if he would give himself to learning, he could become the biggest of all. So she said, "I'll marry you on the condition that you learn Torah." So they got secretly married. Since it was secretly married, her father, he was a kalba savua. What's a kalba savua? There's no such thing as a kalba savua. A kalba savua is a satiated dog. Dogs never stop eating. They'll eat as long as there's food or any food, they'll keep eating. So it means that whenever he was so rich, and he had that he was so big in achnasas orchim and bringing guests in, that any guest that ever came to his house, no matter how hungry he was, he would always have what to eat, and he would always be satisfied. But now his daughter is marrying a shepherd. Wow, how could it be? So he made a neder that he's not going to give anything, nothing. Won't have no food, no drinks, nothing, not even a dirah, not even a house, not even a nice couch like you have here, nothing, not even pillows. So what's going to be? So all they had was a little straw. And he hadn't started really learning yet. They had a little straw, and then Eliyahu Navi came. Eliyahu Navi came to their house, knocked on the door, and in the costume of like a poor person, and he said, "My wife is about to give birth, and we don't even have straw for her to lie on." So all of a sudden, Rabbi Akiva realized that well, I really have straw. I really have something. I thought I didn't have anything. I see. They say that Rabbi Akiva in the Gemara, it says that when every morning when his wife would get up, so there would be straw in her hair, and Rabbi Akiva would pick the straw out of her hair, and he would say, "Now I'm picking straw out of your hair, but when I become rich, I'll buy you a Yerushalayim shel zahav, a Jerusalem of gold, a beautiful crown made out of gold." And he did in the end. But he said, "Now all I have is a straw." So when he realized that he was rich, so he even had straw. So that was like a meiser of his straw that he gave. So now he was able to. They went out to learn Torah. They say that Rabbi Akiva was Ben Gerim. His father was a Ger Tzedek, and then the Likutei Halachot in a different place he says that when Esav was tricking his father in telling him, asking him all kinds of questions on halacha, kilo like he was a Talmid Chacham, he was fooling him. Kilo was like he was a Talmid Chacham, and he said, do you have to take meiser from straw? Really, it was the soul of Rabbi Akiva that was speaking through Esav, because he did actually come from Esav. And he was the one who was saying, do you have to give meiser from teven, from straw? Yes, you do. That was the meiser that, through that meiser, that's when Rabbi Akiva came to his greatness. And afterwards he went out to learn Torah, and Rabbi Akiva, he learned for 12 years. He came back with 12,000 talmidim, and all of these talmidim, all these students, and he coming back to his town, and there was a man who was making fun of Rachel, Rabbi Akiva's wife. He said, "Well, you're almana chaya, like you're a living widow. Yeah, you don't have a husband. You're 12 years." And she said, "Halavai that he should go for another 12 years." And he heard it, and he didn't even see her. He went back for another 12 years. And today, a person can't be out in contact with his wife for more than an hour, maybe, or 2 hours.
12 minutes.
12 minutes, maybe you have a telephone. I was in America for 3 weeks, and I think I talked to my wife at least 10 times a day. At least, if not more. But Rabbi Akiva went for another 12 years. He came back, and then Rachel is throwing herself with 24,000 students, and he's throwing himself. Rachel, his wife, throws herself at Rabbi Akiva's feet to kiss his feet, and the Gaboyim, the Shamashim, they want to push her away, and he said no. He said. She said, "Behema yodea nefesh abado." How do you say the pasuk? Yodea tzadik nefesh behemto. Yodea tzadik. Rabbi Akiva, the tzadik knows the nefesh of his behema. Kilo aini behema. But as Rabbi Akiva said, don't touch her. Let her come to me. He says, because whatever is mine and whatever is yours is all hers. In other words, everything that I merited to, and everything that you, my talmidim, merited to, is only on her merit. Because it wouldn't have been for her, I wouldn't have been able to do anything. This is Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Akiva came to this level of, he was complete Mesiras Nefesh for Hashem and for the Torah, and that so much so that it says in Gemara Menachot Daf Kaftet that Moshe Rabbeinu was shown all the tzaddikim of all the generations. And he was also shown the soul of Rabbi Akiva. He says, what? He says, why did you give the Torah through me? You should give the Torah through him. He's much greater than me. He says, what is his reward? What is he going to get for this incredible level that he's come to? So he was shown how he was being combed with combs of iron. His flesh is being combed with combs of iron by the Romans. So he said, what? This is his Torah, and this is his scharo, this is his reward. The Kadosh Baruch Hu said, Shtok, be quiet. Shtok is the secret of Kadosh Baruch Hu Yasad Eretz al Belima. Belima is bolem. There are a lot of things we don't understand what's going on here in this world. Says, but if a person will be really quiet, you can understand that everything Hashem does is good. How? Why? Ein lanu kelim. We don't understand it. The sons of Rebbe, who was the Kloisenberger Rebbe, he became a big. He didn't have very many following in the beginning, but from after the Shoah, after the Holocaust, he had many of the broken people. They all came to be his talmidim, because he never stopped. He never budged for 1 minute from his emunah, from his faith in God. He saw his wife being cut up in chatichot in pieces before him, and all of his children being killed before him, and he himself was like lying on the ground in a pool of blood, wounded, and he's singing. His vision was not, he was connected to Hashem, every second he was only connected to Hashem. We don't understand anything. So this is a sort of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was the secret of the highest of the Asara Arugei Malchut. There were 10 Arugei Malchut that on their merit we're alive today. If it wouldn't be for all the holy people from the time of the Holocaust, we would not be alive. And all of the holy people that gave their lives today today, yesterday, Hashem Yerachem, that it should be already the end of it. But all these people are of the aspect of Asara Rugei Malchut, that they mamin b'emunah shleima b'Hashem Yitbarach. Whatever Hashem does is good. We don't understand it. It's all a kapara. It's all a fixing for the selling of Yosef, for the selling of the. So it says here an incredible thing that says Rabbi Akiva shu sod Yosef. Now Rabbi Akiva is the secret of Yosef. The Rav Eliyah Moran b'Torah Pei in Belukotei Moran. שיוסף הוא בחינת מסירת נפש. אז זה הבחינת, החנוכה, זה כל העניין של חנוכה, all the thing of חנוכה is מסירת נפש. ומסירת נפש for Kedusha, for the Beis HaMikdash. Everybody, the truth is, I was in America for 3 weeks, I was in South Africa for a month, and I came, coming back to Eretz Yisrael, you hear everything what's going on. Every person that walks on the street in Eretz Yisrael is Mesiras Nefesh. Just to walk, you just go, you go. Okay, maybe in former days, like maybe if to go through Shar Shechem, to go to this place is Mesiras Nefesh. Today, even to go to the Makolet, even to go to the supermarket is Mesiras Nefesh. Ani gar be'Eretz Yisrael. I am living in Eretz Yisrael, and I am moser nafshi afilu to buy a piece of bread, to buy an apple. I am giving my life to just buy an apple. I'm not afraid, because it's the land that Hashem gave to us. It's incredible. Mesiras Nefesh. Every single Jew, children, women, old people, young people, Mesiras Nefesh for the sake of building the Beis HaMikdash. Have to sing a little bit. We'll get back. I went on the way to the Kotel with my wife on Shabbos, and we were going by the Kotel HaKatan on the way to where the Kotel HaKatan is. What is the Kotel HaKatan? It's the same Kotel. It's just a place that not many people go to. It's like not such a revealed place, but it's a little part of the Kotel. The Kotel is actually much bigger than what we see normally. So I asked my wife, have you ever been there? She said no. So we went there, and as we got there, there was a group of mitnachalim. Kind of, they were just been praying mincha Shabbos, and they were with the Sefer Torah, and they were dancing with the Sefer Torah, and they were leaving, and they were singing this song, Yibonei Hamikdash, Yibonei Hamikdash. And I said, well, how can you leave? Why can't we dance together, you know? So they went back with the Sefer Torah, and we all danced together, you know. So then we went, then afterwards we went to we were walking a little further, and there's, from Shuvu Banim, the shiur where I learned, you look down, first of all, you can see all of Harabais. If you go on the rooftop, you can see the floor of the Harabais. And then, I never get tired of looking at it. But then there's another place, there was an old synagogue that had been destroyed during the Arab riots in 1929. And it was a ruin ever since I was there at the yeshiva. All of a sudden, about 6 years ago, they started, or 6-7 years ago, they started rebuilding it. I don't know. And it took a few years but finally it was completely built. And so we were walking by there, and there was an entrance to go into the building, right on the main street there. And I said to my wife, let's go in and see. We went in, and it was so beautiful. There was a picture on the wall. They showed from a photograph of what it used to look like. They rebuilt it the way it was. And we were standing there in this beautiful Beit Knesset, like designed like how it was before and rebuilt. And we were almost crying like babies, because so we realized, it's not a dream. Yibonei Hamikdash, the Beis Hamikdash will be rebuilt. And we'll be zocheh to see it with God's help. Like this building was rebuilt, so the Beis Hamikdash will be rebuilt. But it's not. I remember in Uman once, I was in Miron for Rosh Hashanah many years ago, and there was an old man that had just got out of Russia. He was a big tzaddik, and he was put in prison in Siberia for 8 years for the horrible, horrible crime of keeping Shabbos. It's a day of, you're not allowed to take a day off. You have to work every day. How could you do such a thing? It's against the Communist Manifesto. Be a parasite, take a day off. So he was put in prison for 8 years. He was able to survive that he never stopped dancing for 8 years. 8 years he danced and danced because it's pretty cold in Siberia. They say that the Russians they had the same idea as the Nazis, but they didn't want to waste bullets, so they put people in a freezer instead of shooting them. So he survived after 8 years, never stopped dancing. And here it is, like the second day of Rosh Hashanah, the second night, and everybody went off to eat, and he stayed in Miron by the kever of the Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and he was dancing with a cane. He didn't use the cane, he just took the cane and he was dancing with the cane, and there was a whole group of Bachurim, and they were dancing around him, and they were singing Umen, Umen Rosh Hashanah, Umen, Umen Rosh Hashanah, Umen for Rosh Hashanah, to go to Umen for Rosh Hashanah. Then I thought, what is it? How could you get to Umen for Rosh Hashanah? This was years ago. That nobody was going. The communists, the how do you call it, the Masach Barzel, the Iron Curtain, and nobody is allowed to go into Russia. And so it's just like a dream. Today, last year, there was maybe 50,000 people. How could it be? And tonight, Be'ez Hashem, we'll hear that it's been announced that the Beis Hamikdash has come down in fire from the Shemayim, because this is Chanukah, Chinuch et Habayit, Lechanech et Habayit, Chinuch Chadash, the Beis Hamikdash, Akshav. How will it be? Ayidei Mesiras Nefesh. That's what the whole inyan here is. The connection, the Mesiras Nefesh of the simple people. Matisyahu ben Yochanan Kohen Gadol, he gathered a group of people. He had it with his sons, and he gathered a people of simple people that believed they believed in miracles, that Hashem could do it. If we'll believe in it, they'll do it. Rabbi Akiva, he believed that even though 40 years he never learned Torah, he could start now. And not only could he start now and be like what's called in the world, they call a balabatim. Like you can be a guy that learns a little bit. No, he can be the biggest Talmid Chacham in the world. Not just a little Balabatim. You can be. So whenever you start, I got a bracha once from my Ram that he blessed me that I should live to be like Shet, the 912 years. So I realized that why did he bless me that I should live to be in 912 years? Because he sees how long it takes me to learn. So he figures, what a normal person could do in 120 years, it'll take me 912 years. But still, if a person starts, so maybe you start at 70, so Hashem will have to give you another 120 years. Okay. So, I don't know where we're holding in time. One more song. There's a whole other part that maybe we'll do it the next week. There's a whole thing here about one of the main kavanot. The main kavanot of Chanukah is brought in Pri Etz Chaim. It's called Ekia Pami Mekia. Ekia Pami Mekia. Shem Ekia is Ana Mahavela. Ana. What does it say here? It says brought in the Kutelachot. That I'm going to be. Ekia is the name of I'm going to be. There's a name Yud Ke Vav Ke. Then there's the name Ekia. Ekia is going on the future. It's the ket. It's also Keneged a Keter, opposite the Keter. And if you take Ekia and you multiply it by Ekia, Aleph Hey Yud Hey is 21, and 21 times 21 is how much? I always like to, when they're children, I always like to ask them because I want to see if they know it.
141?
Yeah. Good. You got it.
The youngest person here.
Yeah, okay, so you're that's usually, I think that's third grade. Maybe it's third grade or second grade. There was somebody in second grade I asked recently, and he didn't, it was just addition, it wasn't multiplying. So I don't know, maybe. So anyway, what is 441? 441 is Gematria Emet. So this is the main kavanah of Chanukah. Ekia Pamim Ekia is Gematria Emet. This is brought in Pri Etz Chaim, and it's brought here in the Kutei Halachot. The Kutei Halachot goes into it, and very deeply, this whole inyan. We'll just give it over for... וזה בכינס מה שייסה בכוונות חנוכה. לכוון בכל לילה שם אקיה פעמים אקיה, שעולה אמת. אקיה, 21 times 21, שם א' ה' י' ה', times א' ה' י' ה', comes out to be 441. ולעורר בכל לילה מידה אחת, מי' ג' מחילין דרחמים. Also to arouse every night a different one of the 13 midot of Rachamim. So how could it be? We know that there's really only 8 nights of Hanukkah. There's not 13. So you get another problem. But Zot Hanukkah, the last night of Hanukkah, we do the 8th to the 13th. It's a big secret, actually, really, because the 8th midah of Rachamim and the 13th are one is called the Mazal Elyon, and the other is called the Mazal Tachton. If it goes according to the name of Havai, Hashem ki al rachum b'chanun erech apayim v'al chesed v'emet. As Notzer Chesed is Keneged, it's all opposite the beard of the beard of Arich Anpin. And the beard has two mazalot. One is the mazal elyon, it comes from here. I had a kabruta for a number of years when I was learning Zohar, who was a Teimani, who had a very, very big beard. So I see his beard and he sees my beard. So I always said that his beard was my beard. Because I could see his beard. I could see his, he couldn't see it. I can't see my own beard. So I had a beautiful beard. It was not like this, and you could go like this. That's Notzer Chesed, and Binakeh is the last of the 13 midot. That's this mazel. It's this under part of the beard. So from Notzer Chesed ad Binakeh is all done in the last night. The last night of Hanukkah is super light. The person should really not be very strong on the last night of Hanukkah. It's called Zot Hanukkah. It's you have kavanot on all of it from the 8th until the 13th. Anyway, the idea here is that she'ik ayikar she'itkaber lizkor b'kol eit tachlis ha'olam haba she'az lo yishaer min ha'adam lo min ha'tayvotav v'havalav v'kaspo v'zahavo. Ay v'voy. I don't want to remind you of this. Maybe I shouldn't have come to tell you this, but people don't take any gold, even though the pharaohs, they tried to put all the gold in their pyramids, the kings, they could use it in the next world, but it turned out that thieves broke into the tunnels of the pyramids and they ended up looting it all. So then even afterwards they didn't have it. But so a person, so what is this V'shem Ekya? Ekya is the emes. A person needs to always remember the truth. If a person will remember the truth while he's still here in this world, then he'll be able to achieve a lot. And what is the truth? To know that you can't take anything from this world with you. What can you take? There's only one thing you can take: Torah and mitzvahs and masim tovim. It's the only thing you can take. And how much you'll put your strength into this, Torah, mitzvahs, and masim, that's the emet. That's the emes. And a person will do this, then he'll be able to come into the next world, because the next world is the strangest thing I was learning it. I can't believe it. It says in this world, the next world, there's no eating and there's no drinking. Oh yeah.
Cheesecake.
No cheesecake in the next world. It's a big problem. So what is a person going to do? What do you have to do? What are you going to do there? A person, Rabbi Nachman says, a person should accustom himself in this world to live in the next world. Yeah. So I want to bless everybody that we should all be able to do the kavanot, learn all the. We have still a few weeks. We can learn all of the kavanot of Chanukah and do them. And the main thing is to come to this emes, and this emes, which is ekya, which is believing that, knowing that what we came to this world to do is to come close to God and to learn Torah, mitzvos, masim tovim. Kamash, that a person could take Ein Sof into the next world, and also to have Mesiras Nefesh for the way of Kedusha, and to believe in miracles that Hashem really can. The way we are now in the world, we need the biggest miracles. The whole world is against the little country of Israel. I traveled on one plane that I was on from South Africa to New York. And the cheapest plane and the best plane was Emirates Airlines. They say it's a very good airline. It's Arab Emirates. It's an Arab airline. And they say, everybody said it's the greatest airline. And the problem is that really is true. It really is the best planes I ever was on, and the service is wonderful. They do specifically to accommodate the passengers. They have stewardesses and stewards from all the nations of the world, so that everybody feels comfortable. Like in the story of the Megillah, The only thing is, there's just one country that they missed out. I don't want to say who. Just one country, and then they show them, and they have the best food. I never had the best food I ever had in an airplane. I'm not being advertising for Emirates Airlines, please. I'm not making that. They're not going to give me any money for this. But the best food, it was a hekshare from the Rabbanut of Thailand. Well, I looked in the small print, and the bottom it said Chabad org. And then it was Yosef Kantor. People told me after I met some Chabadnikim, they told me he's really a very great guy. And it was the best food that I ever had on an airplane. There even is a mikveh on the plane, and it's the top floor, but you have to pay, I think, maybe $20,000 to fly in the first class. But in the regular class, it was very, very cheap. Because I said that the reason it was cheap is because they didn't have to pay gas. Because the Arabs, they have their own free gas. But they have this thing on it, because I wanted to see where we were going, so that you can press a button and see the screen of which country, wherever you're going over, and then in the middle of that it shows where all the Emirates airplanes go to. They go to every country in the world, kimat, and there's only one country that does not exist on their map, and we won't say who it is. But so it's this tiniest little country, this tiniest little nation, and the whole world is existing on the Sukkot of Am Yisrael. And the Sukkot of Am Yisrael, if we'll be Am Yisrael Be'emet, the Mesiras Nefesh, אז יהיה הגאולה שלמה במהרה ימינו אמן. Amen.